Welcome back to Behind the Lava Lava, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of the vibrant people and cultures of the Pacific. I'm your host, Michael Tan, and I'm joined today by my co-hosts, Spencer and Milford. This episode is brought to you by Matai Watches, a luxury timepiece brand that embodies the essence of the Pacific Islands. Today, we are thrilled to have two very special guests with us. They are Lucy and Sive Jarrard, sisters who are deeply passionate about surfing. So Lucy and Sive are representing American Samoa at the qualifiers in El Salvador for the Paris 2024 Olympics. And we can't wait to hear from their journey and the hard work that they've put to get to this point. Sive, on the other hand, is also the current Miss Samoa Hawaii. So we're excited to hear about her experiences in the pageant world and how she uses her platform. So both are surfers at heart. Lucy and Sive know the importance of the ocean and the impact it has on our lives. So grab your surfboards and join us for an inspiring conversation with the surfing sisters, Lucy and Sive. So Lucy and Sive, could you give us a brief introduction of your background, where you guys are from, your parents, and what you guys do?
We're originally from Oceanside, Carlsbad, California, and we ended up moving out here to Oahu for surfing. My mom and dad moved us here to give us more opportunity for surfing.
Yeah, so we moved here when I was 15, and
we went to high school out here. And then my mom and dad, too, they're both from Oceanside, California. And how that happened was my grandpa and grandma, they're both from American Samoa, but my grandma went to San Francisco. My grandpa went to Kahuku for high school, and then he joined the military. So that's how we ended up in California. And then my dad, he taught us all how to surf. And so I guess that's kind of how everything started in California. Yeah.
So what inspired you to pick up surfing and especially you, Sive, on the pageantry portion?
What inspired me was doing it with my family, growing up and seeing, because my two older sisters are the ones that I'll say paved the way for us in surfing, because they started surfing with our dad. And originally I didn't want to surf because I just wanted to stay with my grandma at home. Yeah. But then I eventually started surfing, and what made me want to keep doing it was I found out I could do it. And then I was super competitive and I wanted to be my older sisters. So I kept trying really hard. But it was just mostly fun growing up, doing it with our two older sisters, my dad, my mom being at the beach with us, and then Sive and my brother. And then we also did junior guards, and my grandma would come down to the beach and watch us do junior guards. And sometimes my grandpa would come too, and they would just see us in the ocean. So I think it just connected all of us really well.
Yeah. When since we got to do it together, it kind of made the whole entire experience more fun. And I think that's also why all of us have siblings are super close. It's definitely because of surfing, and one of the reasons I think we all still surf now is it's something we can do as a family for the rest of our lives. And whether we do competitions or not, we can always still surf together and still have that family time together, which is super special and fun.
Do you want to add to your
and what age did you guys start surfing?
We've been surfing since we're
really young. Our dad taught us to surf when we were young, but I used to just sit on the beach and not want to.
And I used to want to stay home with my mom, or sit on the beach and be with my mom.
So we always knew how to surf.
Taking it competitively.
Yeah, I'd say in fourth grade, I guess, is when I really wanted to surf. But we've been surfing our whole lives.
And is pageants something that's specific to Sive, or have you done that also, Lucy?
I haven't done any pageants. I think I'm just gonna leave that to Sive.
No, that was the Miss Samoa Hawaii pageant. That was the first pageant I've ever done. Yeah. This year, or last year, my goal was to try to do something I've never done, and try to step out of my comfort zone to grow a little bit as a person. And I saw the pageant before my previous one, the 2021 through 2022 as well. And I saw that ad on Instagram, and I was telling Lucy about it in the car, and she said I should do it.
Yeah.
And I was really nervous, but I did it, and it was a great experience.
Yeah. And our auntie kept telling her to do it.
Yeah.
Like she said, like for like 2 years, I'll
oh
say,
my gosh.
to keep doing it or to try to do it.
Every single time I would come to your house, she's like, you gotta do it. And I finally did it. It was really nice.
No, that's awesome. So you reluctantly got into surfing competitively, and you said that you were stepping out of your comfort zone to start getting into pageantry. So what do you think you find more challenging, or like which one's harder to you, being in pageants or surfing competitively?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think the pageant was a lot harder for me because it was something that I wasn't used to. Like at all, like nobody in my family has done a pageant, so like I couldn't really like ask like any advice because no one like really knew like how it would go. Surfing, like Lucy surfs, my brother surfs, and it's like I know how that training goes, and like I know what's expected and like what I need to do to get there. For pageants, I didn't really like necessarily know the steps when I signed up. It was actually a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. It was really, really challenging, but I'm glad I did it.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
It's really cool that you took it upon yourself to challenge yourself. And I didn't even think about that, but it makes sense that, surfing comes more naturally because, like you said, it's basically a family affair with you. But pageantry is not having, it really is treading new waters. So that makes sense that would be the more intimidating one. So good on you for challenging yourself.
Oh, thank you.
Could you guys touch on your parents? Because you guys I saw that you guys were Samoan and French. Could you touch on your family line real quick before we move on to our ad?
Yeah. So our mom, she's Samoan and our dad is French.
Yeah.
Like we get it from my mom because her mom and her dad are both Samoan, and they're both from American Samoa. And then my dad, he's French, but his family they come from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then they moved to California. But we don't really know how far it goes back.
Yeah.
We just know like
He's French.
he's French.
My dad, he's also the only child.
Yeah, he's the only child.
So we were raised like more with my song.
Yeah, we don't really know like that much like about our dad's family because we weren't around them that much.
Yeah.
And like my dad also, he grew up with my mom's family. So we just like know mostly our mom's family.
Yeah.
It's weird,
Yeah,
but like
what
we
are
know
their
her. Oh, my mom's name is Susanna and our dad's name is Lionel.
All right. So for our first ad, I just got to ask you, have you thought to yourself, I should probably get some life insurance for my family? If you answered yes, then you would know perfectly well that you've never stopped thinking about it ever since. You've been bitten by the life insurance bug, and that desire to protect those you love the most in this world will not rest until you either win the lottery, get life insurance set up, or simply pass away, whichever comes first. Until one of those things, those three things happen, that feeling will never fade. So the question comes, what should you do? I won't bore you with the drawn out answer, but skip right to the punchline. Get life insurance set up right away with independent broker Ray Keller, who has access to every option under the sun, so you pay as little as possible for as much as possible. Reach out to Ray Keller at independentislandlifeinsurance.com. Find him on Facebook or by calling 435-200-4869. Remember, with life insurance, you're either early or you're late. You're never on time.
So Lucy and Sive, could you touch on your journey on especially your surfer training and preparation for the qualifiers in El Salvador this May? Could you touch on the challenges and especially being a woman in a male-dominated sport?
For me, so I tried last year or like a couple years ago, and then I'm trying again. But like one of the biggest challenges has been like sometimes I get too like hard on myself. But like I'm learning like failures like make you stronger. And like I'm just keep trying. Like you always have to keep trying because like failures make you stronger. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally know what you mean, Lucy.
Like that's been hard because like I get down because like I really always want to do my best. So like when I don't get the results I want, it can be hard because in surfing you lose more than you win.
Yeah.
Like unlike other sports, like I feel like losing happens a lot more. But like I've changed my training and stuff, and I've tried to change my attitude a lot more, like have more of a positive mindset. And like I also like started boxing and training, which I feel like made me more confident because I was so intimidated. Like I get intimidated fast, but like I feel like doing that has like helped my confidence a lot. And like surfing too, there's not a lot of Polynesians that surf. So when I go like going into it, sometimes that can be more intimidating because I feel like I don't belong there, but like I do. So I just need to like not think that way. But it's really like good things are happening in my life right now with surfing. So I just need to stay positive and like keep trying hard. Yeah.
Same as Lucy, like sometimes I get like really, really nervous. It's just like a habit I do that I'm trying to break. And it's one of the reasons why I did do the pageant is like try to like be more confident in myself when it comes to surfing. Before this event coming up, like I did like a lot of previous events, and like each time like I would do better, but I kept losing and losing and losing. And I did one event in Pismo Beach last year, and like I lost, and like I was like completely devastated because I was like tired of losing, and like I didn't know like where I'd be in surfing because it was like so intimidating. Like I keep doing all this hard work for like absolutely like nothing, it felt like. But since I've been like surfing a lot more with like my sister and like seeing her growth, and like I started boxing with her too. Like it kind of like helped me get into a better mindset in surfing, and like I stopped surfing to like for other people and started surfing for myself, and like that made surfing like so much more fun. Yeah. And so going into this contest, I feel like I'm a lot more confident because I'm having so much more fun in surfing. And like seeing like Lucy happy and excited surfing too sometimes makes me more excited for myself to surf.
Yeah. And like we went to Puerto Rico with our sponsors, and it was super cool to be with our sponsor because we were surrounded like with so much positivity and like support. So that made me like super excited to just like keep surfing and realize that I need to surf to have fun and for myself, not surf for like everyone else. Like it's supposed to be fun. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it was fun.
Yeah. And when we were in Puerto Rico, there was like a lot of like other surfers that are also on the team as well. And they're really successful in surfing. So to be around people who are successful, like it kind of gave me a lot of like confidence, like wow, like success is actually real in surfing. Like it's not just something you see, it's like a real thing. And to be around people who are like super successful in surfing as well, who are like actually nice people too, was really good to be around, and like definitely put me in a better mindset for surfing. I think that was really cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent. And like you mentioned that there's not a lot of Polynesians in the professional surfing. And so that can be intimidating itself. And I just want to say that I'm glad that you're out there and that you guys definitely belong. And we're happy that you're out there representing us and, you know, showing the world what we're all about in that regard. I thought it was kind of cool that, you know, to kind of take the edge off, you said you both started boxing and stuff, because it's kind of like the reverse Donald Cerrone. He was a UFC fighter who he actually got really frozen when he went to fight. And so he would always do these like adrenaline sports, like, you know, skydiving or something like that, because he wanted to like get that out of his system and made him feel more relaxed when he went to fight in the cage. And so it's just kind of cool that it's like the reverse for you guys. You go fight to calm down to go surf. And so I think that's a really cool thing. An awesome measure that you took to try to just gain your confidence and build yourselves up. And so glad you're competing on that circuit and representing us.
Thank you.
Yeah, no. Like I have this uncanny ability to not dwell on the negative. Like no matter what bad things happen, I just thing you got to recognize the most is that you're not going to overcome anything if you just keep thinking about the bad thing that just happened. All right. And one cool thing that, you know, Lucy, you mentioned before in other videos is that we are a people of the ocean. You know, that's part of the reason why you guys surf. You know, it's part of our culture. And I know that you used to meditate as part of your training regimen. I don't know if you still do now, but I think it's cool that if you also meditate and just, you know, kind of like, it's kind of weird that I'm saying this, but like feel the spirits of your ancestors, you know, out there in the
Yeah.
ocean and becoming one with that. And I think that's pretty cool.
Thank you. No,
So
yeah.
how did you two come to surf for American Samoa? And what are your aspirations for the future of surfing in American Samoa?
Well, we came about it. Well, my dad, like growing up, my dad was always trying to like form a team when we were younger. But then our coach, Joe, he's the coach for American Samoa. He ended up starting it too. Like he started one, and then we basically like found out on Instagram, and then like we both reached out to each other, and then he helped me get on the team and like helped me get to El Salvador with him and another boy on the team named Liam Wilson. So that's kind of how it started through them. And now my mom is the women's coach, and my dad's also coaching a little bit too with the team. So that's kind of how we got on through Coach Joe.
Yeah.
So I realized that we do have like a 1 or 2 second delay, so bear with us. So
Oh.
let's talk on the pageant side of things.
Oh yeah.
Sive, could you touch on the challenges of, you know, especially being a Pacific Islander woman in the pageant industry? What are some challenges that you have faced?
Some challenges I faced. I think just being Polynesian and doing a pageant is like kind of just crazy in general. Since I did the Miss Samoa Hawaii event, it was something like something I was more like not familiar with, but since it's more of a cultural pageant, it wasn't something like out of the box for me. But the most challenging thing was it's just like learning like different things. Like I feel like I learned a lot more about like Samoan cultural things, I guess you could say.
Oh wait, can I answer for her? Okay, well, I think one of her challenges was sometimes we get intimidated fast.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's self-inflicted. So like I think the hard thing was her because she learned so much cultural things.
Yeah.
But usually we do everything together.
Oh
and
my
Siva
gosh,
had to face like learn cultural things by herself and with like different people. So she's so happy to learn it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, Siva, you need to teach me this and you teach me that.
Yeah, I got to learn like,
But she had to do it by herself. So I think that was like hard for her.
I got to like learn so much more about like our culture, which is super cool. But I do literally everything with Lucy. So like I had to start going to like events by myself and like doing dances by myself, and like I had to like talk in front of like a lot of people by myself. And yeah, it was really intimidating without doing it with Lucy because I get like really nervous and intimidated when I'm by myself around other people. And usually I'm more of like an outgoing person when I'm next to Lucy.
Yeah, people are like always telling us like we need to act like this, like when we're by ourselves. But like she is so funny, like I can only like laugh with her.
And like sometimes I just feel like since we're always together and like our mom and dad are like, you don't need friends, you have like your siblings. I really want to talk to like Lucy and my other sisters. So being around like other girls and like having to like learn about them and like talk to them was like just absolutely like scary for me. But they were super nice. It just not doing it with Lucy was really scary for me.
And is this something that you are going to continue to pursue alongside surfing, the pageants?
I'm not too sure yet. I would love to do another pageant, but we surf and we also go to college. And I kind of want to pursue my education and like keep going to college. And I'm not too sure if I could handle both the pageantry and school and surfing at the same time, I don't think it's an automatic no. It's just not yet. That makes any sense.
No, that makes total sense, and like I think it's a good thing that you've got options, you know. So whether you go one way or another, or have two things instead of the three, like point is you've got a lot of good things to pick from, and so that's good. I think it's excellent that you two have obviously this dichotomy where you really build off of each other and support each other, and I think that's an important thing that you're exemplifying, is that for Polynesian culture is just those strong family values, how we really rely on each other, rely on our families to get through. You know, like it's funny because like growing up, me and my younger brother Joseph, we used to fight all the time. Like we would just always be fighting, and I remember I would lose my temper. I'd be like, I hate you, and my mom got really mad, and she's like, don't you ever say that to your brother. He's like, your brother is your best friend. And I'm like, this kid, no, like I only deal with him to live in the same house. But she's like, no, she's like, you watch, like when you grow up, your brother will be your best friend. And then the more time went by, the more that became true. You know, it's like, I'm fortunate enough that I have good people in my life, good friends in my life, but it really is true that my brother, my sisters, my other siblings, like we're all the closest to each other, and same with all the cousins that we all grew up together. You know, strong family values and that support system are extremely important. I think it's excellent that you guys are there for each other and you're helping each other along in your journeys, and that's inspiring to hear.
Thank you.
Can you guys touch on your Samoan heritage? How has your culture influence what you guys do, your career, hobbies, and you can touch on your Samoan heritage or your French, either side.
I think like one of the biggest things I think all Samoans can relate to is like just the pride that comes with it, that comes with being Samoan, like just knowing that we come from such strong people. And like if you look back on our history, if you think about all the things that we did, I saw this one quote was like, our culture wasn't based on giving up. It was like based on like, keep going. And like, that's who we are. So I think even though sometimes I do get intimidated, I also like remember the people who came before me were super strong people and they could do it. And sometimes it gives me the pride, like, oh, I'm Samoan, like I can definitely do this.
Yeah. Same for me. Like everywhere, like we're really proud to be someone. Like we don't care what anyone says to us. Like everywhere we go, like we're always gonna rep that.
Yeah.
Like and do that. So we always try to do things to the best of our abilities. Always be respectful to everyone we meet. Like everywhere we go, we try to act the best as possible to represent our culture best as possible because it's just important to us because we're super proud of that.
And like being Samoan, we have such like amazing core values. I think that's like one of the best things too.
Yeah. Like it made us like makes us better people
every single day.
Yeah.
Can you guys touch on the importance of, the culture? How has it affected your lives, especially being Afakasi? Because for me, I know me and Spence and T, you're part Asian, right? So we're not full Samoans, but we do experience that aspect of, the feeling. Sometimes we do feel that when we were growing up, the feeling of not belonging, especially when you are Afakasi. Could you guys touch on that growing up, if you guys have felt that?
Sometimes it makes me feel like sad, but what like made me realize that it doesn't matter is when I was writing my scholarship essay, because I started talking about my grandma and grandpa because we were at their house like every single day.
That's all we kind of like know.
Yeah. So growing up, I didn't like know I was different from anyone else until I started getting older, but they never treated me like any different.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, I don't want to get like emotional about it, But sometimes I get sad.
Sometimes it's like, it's one of those things, like, especially because we're girls too, it's like not the easiest thing to experience. But the older we get, the more we get to know ourselves. And I don't think I'm any less someone than the next person.
Yeah.
I just don't think I'm not. Like, I know I'm someone, like, I know my heritage, I know my people, and like, I know my culture.
It's because it's like, it's all we know. So when people try to like say we're not, it's like, well, we don't know anything different.
So it's like, then who are we?
Yeah.
But like, Lucy and I, like, we're trying to learn to like,
we're trying to learn more about our culture and about ourselves.
And as long as like you can, you accept yourself and you know who you are,
then that's
like,
all that
really matters.
Because me and Sive don't care anymore what people say because we're still always going to rep our culture.
Yeah. And like, we don't believe in like Samoans bringing other Samoans down.
Yeah, we only I care about bringing them up. Even if they hate us, we still are going to love you back.
I think like being Samoan, like if you see another Samoan on the street, like, you should help them. Like, never leave anybody behind. Like, that's just not what our culture is about. I think the mindset of like, oh, if you're Afakasi, you're not someone, is like, that's a generational thing. That's a mindset. It's like, that's what you choose to believe, but like, that's not what I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's relatable because I grew up half Chinese, half Samoan. I grew up in American Samoa, so I was fighting off Samoans, you know, especially being bullied and being name called, being Afakasi. But now that I've grown up, my mindset has changed, and it's similar to what you guys are experiencing. Not, you know, it's like that saying, sticks and stones can break our bones, but words will never hurt us now that we're grown, right? So good on you guys for keeping that positive mindset and just repelling the negativity.
Well said. Before we get into the ad, yeah, like me and Spence. So at least Michael Tan, at least he could speak the lingo, you know what I'm saying? And he knew a lot of the customs and traditions within our people. Myself and Spence, we don't really speak the language. And my dad was in the army, but both my parents are from Western Samoa. So, you know, the little Chinese side of me, people don't really know about. But hey, same thing as y'all, man. No matter what the others say, you know, 10 toes down, repping the culture, even if my own people are, you know, making fun of me for doing something wrong in the ceremony.
But
or not knowing how to dance.
Yeah, but like, I feel like since I did the pageant, I had to like learn a lot of things. I'm still learning a lot of things. Like, I read a lot of books, but like, one thing I did learn and like accepted, like, if you don't know something, like a cultural thing, like, that's fine. It's just a way for you to get closer to your culture. It's not something that can put you back. It's only a way for you to get closer to your heritage and like closer to your identity. So it's something you shouldn't be like embarrassed about. We can all, like, every someone can learn more things about our culture, so it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Aloha, food lovers. Are you ready to take your taste buds on the journey to the islands? Then it's grinds time. At Nothing But Grinds, they take pride in their heritage and the recipes that have been passed down through generations. Their Hawaiian street food is made with the utmost care and attention to detail, and they occasionally throw in a delicious twist that'll keep you coming back for more. Whether you're craving their famous kalua pork or want to try something new like their fried spam musubi, they've got something for everyone. So check out Nothing But Grinds and experience the flavors of Hawaii like never before.
So Lucy and Sive, we're going to be popping out some rapid fire questions, you know, just to have fun. So what are your favorite Pacific Islander dishes now that you guys are living out there in Hawaii?
Oh, I like hapia. That's like my favorite.
Yeah, she does love that. I'm trying to think. Well, for Easter, I made chop suey. Like, my grandpa always made that like every holiday. So for me, that's just my favorite. No matter like any holiday, you have to have it there. 100% favorite favorite food in the world. Especially with some rice and fried chicken, top tier.
Yeah, what was that first thing you mentioned? Like, could you guys elaborate in detail what kind of food that is? So for our listeners who don't know what that dish is.
I like hapia. I first had it when I came out here. It's like this coconut thing. It was like cut like this, and it's like really good. And like they also put it in like pie, which I like a lot, like hapia pie. But it's like basically like coconut, but it kind of looked like Jello-ish when I first had it. But it's super good. It's like a Hawaiian dessert. Like I didn't have it until I came out here. Yeah, I think that was really good. Especially like the pie is really good.
Oh, it's so good. Best thing ever. You have to have it. It's like,
Yeah, what's chop suey?
it's like, you can put whatever you want in it. So if you like noodles, this is what I made for Easter. It's my first time making it for my dinner, for my family for dinner. This year I put like, obviously the noodles. I put corned beef. You put like any kind of thing. So I put like, carrots, celery. It's basically like noodles with like shoyu and like a whole bunch of like vegetables. I don't like corn, so I don't like corn in my chop suey. You can make it with like corned beef or any kind of meat. My grandpa used to make it with beef, but yeah, it's basically that. It's really good, though.
Do you eat it with anything? Like, do you eat it with rice or taro or banana or maximally? If you want to be really heavy.
When my grandpa was alive, like he used to make it for us. So like, of course, we had like bananas and like kalo and everything. His top tier, I could never reach that level, and like his platter. But for this Easter, since I tried to make it for my family, we just had it with rice, and it was really good still. Lucy ate it, so she can.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was really good. I was so proud of myself.
So being surfers, are there any go-to surfing spots? I don't know if you guys want to disclose it, but do you guys have any favorite spots to go to?
She has so many favorite spots.
My favorite spot is I love to surf Pupukea on North Shore. It's so fun. It's like the best wave for me because it's short. It's like a short paddle, but the wave is so good. And then along that whole like coast, there's like 3 or 4 different breaks that you could like paddle to if you weren't catching any waves. And they're all equally fun, but I actually just really like surfing Pupukea. That's my favorite. What about you, Sive? I think it's fine to say that.
Yeah, it's my favorite surf spot. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I don't really know. I like surfing wherever she surfs. I don't like surfing by myself, but Pupukea is like, it's like one of the best, like in that area of the park, I guess. At the Hikai, there's like 5 different waves, and you can just like keep choosing different waves. So like, yeah, it's really fun. So I think I like surfing there too. Yeah. Oh, wait, actually, I know my favorite
Very
wave.
cool.
And
My favorite wave is Lonnie's.
She doesn't really know right now.
My favorite wave is Lonnie's because like there's 3 different like bowls on the wave. So when it gets like bigger, you can surf 3 different spots, and like the wave doesn't change necessarily. But like Lucy, sometimes she surfs like the outside bowl and she can catch big waves. I can like watch it come up from the inside. Then you can just kind of keep moving down, and the waves just keep getting better and better. Yeah, it's really fun. Yeah.
Awesome. So I saw in recent news, they recently announced that they're going to be doing a remake of Lilo and Stitch, which of course takes place in Hawaii and actually prominently features surfing as an activity in there. So I just wanted to ask, how likely do you think you are to get some guest spots in that, being representatives of both the sport and Hawaii?
Well, I'm not really too sure. Yeah.
Well, I think they casted everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get a campaign going.
I saw they were doing like a live action Moana, and I was like, Sive, you have to get in that.
Yeah,
but I think it's like too late already.
Yeah.
But I keep trying to tell her like to get into acting and like all of that stuff. So I'm trying to manage her, but like it's hard because I don't have any contacts or anything.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get her to like do more things like that because I'm just gonna keep following her.
No, I'm gonna keep pointing her.
So-
It's never too late, right, Disney? And Rex Tiumalu, if you're watching this, we got some surfers here for the live action. So, what's your favorite Samoan or French word that you guys like? Favorite Samoan or French word?
My favorite word. Okay, hang on. Sorry, I just gotta think about this.
Because we say really funny things all the time.
Like I can't think of any on the top of my head. So I'm gonna try and think like I feel nervous right now.
It's fine because
Oh,
my
you see
favorite
me.
word is "ai," and that's eat in Samoan.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she's the Miss Samoa, so she can go for her.
Well, like we just make a lot of like we make a lot of jokes all the time. So like I don't necessarily have a favorite word. I just think it depends on like my brother's. He's like super super funny, and like he says like a lot of like weird things. Like
Yeah, we don't know.
but then my brother does a lot of like he does like acting sometimes in the house. And he says like really funny things like Samoan words. Like anything my brother says, I think is hilarious. But my brother has to hear.
I'm just wondering, do you use the word "sasa" in your household?
No.
Not often. Like sometimes growing up a little bit when we were gonna get in trouble.
More when my grandparents were alive, they used to like
Yeah.
say that.
See, they were just really well behaved kids. That's probably why.
I was scared to get in
Oh,
trouble.
we will actually get in trouble.
Not
a
people
lot.
go like the rest of us.
Oh yeah, we did get in trouble a lot.
Our two older sisters, they got in trouble probably the most because they're the oldest. They
Yeah.
say we're lucky.
But I feel like I get in trouble the most sometimes.
So Tan and I, we got some kids, and I think it's cool that we do this, for posterity's sake to leave for our children. But on the flip side, I think it's cool for the kids, to be present on something and to be able to talk and represent. So the question I have for both of you is, when it comes to surfing or just any day activities, overcoming obstacles, could you list something from each of you, take from like your mother or your father or even your grandmother? Because I've heard you, speak about how she inspired you before or continues to inspire you. Just list off a couple characteristics that both of you take each day that inspires you to become better and to overcome any kind of fears that or doubts that you're facing when it comes to surfing or anything you're pursuing.
From my mom, like I'd probably take like her heart because like and her strength. I think like we both get, or all of us like get that from my mom. Like and she like never gives up
Yeah.
and she goes into everything 100%. And we take that into our surfing and like everyday life. And I feel like that's why we work so hard too.
yeah, it's 'cause my mom.
Cause our mom.
There's 5 of us. There's 4 girls and 1 boy. So my mom, like, growing up, my mom was like always doing like 1,000 things to make sure everybody was happy. And then on top of that, also taking care of our grandparents too. And yeah, my mom, she's a real hard worker.
And she has like the best heart too.
Yeah.
Like her heart and her strength, those are like things.
Untouchable. Like, she's just so awesome.
Yeah.
Our dad, I think my dad's really fearless and strong. Like,
Yeah.
he can do anything. Like, anything you ask him to do, and my dad can do, and he goes in 100%. Like, he's not scared to do that. And I think sometimes when I do things, like, for example, the pageant, like, I was terrified. But growing up with my dad, he told us, like, don't be scared. This, like, fear holds you back.
Yeah.
And just keep going. And, like, seeing my dad grow into this, like, amazing person that he is, kind of, like, when I look at him, I just, like, there's nothing to be scared of. There's nothing to be scared of. Just go and just do it. And I think that's why, like, especially in surfing too, like, we've had, like, great opportunities come our way because our dad just says, go out there and do it. It doesn't matter if you fail or not. As long as you do it, that's all that counts.
Yeah. He's like probably like one of our biggest supporters too. And
Yeah.
he's always telling us, like, he pushes us
Yeah.
more, and he's like, you can do it, you can do
Do
it.
it.
He's the one that tells us to get out of our comfort zone. And
Just do it.
yeah, like, he believes like we can do anything we put our like minds to. He's super supportive in that way. He is always telling us to, like,
Just do
we
it.
can do it. Yeah, just do it.
Especially when we're younger, he's like, we're surfing bigger waves, and he's just like, just go, and
Yeah.
he just like push our surfboard.
And if you don't go, you're in trouble. Go in. Yeah. Because he knows we can do it.
He
Like,
knows we can do it. Just like,
you just gotta do it.
Just
If
gotta
you
do
don't
it.
do it, if you're scared, because like in surfing, if you don't take off on a big wave and you get scared, you're gonna fall. So like you just have to go, and that's kind of like with
going
everything.
strong.
If you don't go 100%,
There's no point of doing it.
you're gonna
just,
fall. Like,
Just go. Yeah, my dad, he's super awesome. And our grandparents, they're just like the best people in the world. Especially coming from Samoa and like creating such a great life for my mom and like our whole family. Is really inspiring to like know and to see.
yeah.
So just growing up around like good people is like the best thing ever.
Along the same line of inspiration, what are some advices that you would give someone who's starting off surfing or who wants to take up surfing?
Probably like just do it, and like you're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it could turn out better than you expect.
Yeah.
But I actually had a question regarding the pageant, because you said that while preparing for the pageant, you actually learned more about the culture in doing so.
Yeah.
And I think that's a constant where, we learn by doing. Sometimes we're asked to write an essay or give a talk about something, and you didn't really know much about that thing until you started doing research to prepare for that thing. So as you started to learn more about the culture, I just wanted to ask, what is something that you learned, something new in preparation for this that really stood out to you? You don't have to say it's your favorite thing or whatnot, but what's something that you learned that was new about the culture that really stood out to you?
Well, growing up, our grandma used to take us to dance class. And so my older sisters used to dance like Sive Jarrard, and then we did Asian dancing when we were younger. But during the pageant, since it's a Samoan pageant, I did a lot of dancing. And at first, like, I was really uncomfortable doing it. And like, of course, I understood the importance of it, but I didn't like doing Sive Jarrard and like just being in that whole entire atmosphere. You can just like, it's like almost the best thing in the world. Like, you can just really tell like the importance of dance to our culture is just like insane. And just sharing that moment, like when I danced, when I was dancing, it was just like, you feel all of like your ancestors are there with you. There's like no right or wrong way. It's just as long as you feel the presence of your culture and people came before you, like, it's just kind of the best feeling. It's an unexplainable feeling. I can't explain it to you. I think that was just the best thing I got to like learn and become closer with. And sometimes now, like, I'm just like in my room listening to like Samoan music, just like thinking like about those moments that I got to like do in the pageant. And it's just like a lot of fun. I think that's like one of the best things and outcomes I got to do and like experience.
Because you brought up music, what are your favorite songs or Polynesian artists?
Polynesian artists. You have any other city?
I like Longa Savea.
Oh,
He doesn't sing like Samoan songs, but he sings like island reggae.
Yeah.
I love his songs. I also like Fiji and Fia
Yeah.
a lot. And also too, Fiji and Fia too, when I was going to my last competition, they were super supportive in me,
Yeah.
which was super cool. Like to have that others like support from other Polynesians, and their music is so good. I saw both of them live.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, that was so awesome. For me, my favorite singer, definitely Fiji. Yeah, every song that he sings is just like incredible. Yeah, I think he's the best.
Oh yeah, and the boy too, from American Idol from Hawaii
Oh.
too.
Ian Tony, I think that's his name.
Yeah, he's so good.
He's so good.
He's the next person that should be on here.
He's incredible, and he has such a good heart, so you can see it like everywhere.
Like, he's the next big thing. He's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ian, how about you start replying to my messages? Come join us. So before Spencer does the recap, we like to ask our guests, do you guys have any questions for us? Because we love to learn and try to improve our podcast.
For you guys, what would be your best piece of advice for us to take, like, in life, in like going into competitions and stuff, like, because you guys created this and like you guys are older and you guys have learned a lot, like, what's the best piece of advice you could give us?
You made it kind of hard to answer, because talking to you guys, you seem to have learned a lot of the most important aspects. Rely on your family, keep an eye on just learning from, even when you fall short, you win or you learn. There's always something to learn. Even if you fall short, you don't really lose, as long as you learn something. And but these are things that you've already spoken back to us. So I'd say just keep that in mind, and keep down that path, because you're already on a pretty good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's very important to take care of your mental health alongside your physical well-being. I'm along the lines of, you guys mentioned it before, just do it. Whatever you have in life that you are trying to attempt to do, you just do it. And it's very important to learn and make mistakes, because through those mistakes you perfect your craft. You perfect whatever you are trying to do in your life, whether it's surfing or pageants or podcasting. Where we're always trying to be better than the person we were yesterday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's hard to stay positive, especially like you said, in the environment where losing, happens more often than most. But one thing you guys should know is that you're stronger than you know. Like what you listed about your parents and inspiration, you guys have. It's amazing. That's all you need to overcome anything. The cliche to achieve anything you want, it's in your blood. You get it from your moms and pops and your grandparents. You listed it right there, and there's no reason why you guys didn't inherit it at all. So, keep on carrying it. Always remember where you come from. That strength is within you. It's never gone. And there's a lot of negative voices out there, and I know you guys don't really pay attention to that. But just know that, you got us in your corner rooting loud for you, a million times louder than any of those negative comments that may come your way, or doubters. We're here to support you. You guys are luminaries. You guys are lighting the way, for not only our people, but young girls. I mean, we're ocean people, like you said, but like not a lot of our females, our young girls are out there surfing. Maybe, because they might be babysitting and doing fayals or stuck doing something else, but they're not out there surfing. And you guys are lighting the way, to be recognized by the International Surfers Association. That's no small feat by any means. That is huge. So just remember, you're stronger than you know.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you very much for joining us.
That.
We got to.
Oh, sorry.
go
No, Lucy said, do you have a question? I was like, oh my
No, you're
God.
good. Like I said, we got a delay.
I was
so no
started
worries.
crying when you guys were saying that. All those nice words.
Yeah.
That was like, that really touched me. Honestly. I was like, wow.
Well, you guys deserve them, and thank you very much for doing what you do and representing us out there on these larger stages. And so, we're just gonna go ahead and conclude this. Just to recap, thank you for sharing with us your journey, into the world of surfing, into the world of pageantry, and and just to recap, also, you got a lot of options, and it's a bright future that you all have, whatever path you choose to pursue, whether it be in schooling or continuing on the professional circuit in sports. It's all there for you. And so one last thing I wanted to ask you, just as a kind of our concluding thoughts, is what are your thoughts on the importance of representation and diversity in the Pacific Islander community? You know, because like it is an important thing, but it's something that when I was younger, I personally didn't give a lot of thought to, as far as the importance of representation. But the first time it ever really struck a chord with me is when I saw it in the eyes of my young nieces and nephews. And that happened when the movie Moana came out. And because I saw Moana, and, you know, like I thought it was cool that it was happening and that we had a Polynesian like Disney movie happening. You know, we had Lilo and Stitch, and there was another one. And I thought it was cool, but I wasn't like, oh, yay, got my representation. But when I watched that with my nieces and nephews, you know, it was the sweetest thing, because, you know, me and my siblings Afakasi, you know, my brother married Palangi, so these kids are even more Afakasi, and their eyes lit up though when they saw Moana. They were very little, and whenever she was on screen, they're like, "It's grandma, it's grandma!" Like they saw Moana, and they just immediately thought of their grandmother, because it just finally sees a character on that screen that looked like somebody that they knew. Their faces just lit up, and so it's a very important thing in my mind. I just wanted to, you know, ask you, what are your final thoughts on the importance of representation and diversity in the PI community?
I think it's super important. I think that's like a super cool story too, because like having that representation is cool.
Yeah.
But I think in the next coming years, we're going to continue to get more and more representation. And I hope like people can even look up to me and Sive. And one of my goals too, or our goals, like we want to see more Samoan girls surfing, even boys too. But I think like in the next couple generations, I know it's not going to happen fast, but I think we can see so many more girls surfing just like us. Like it doesn't matter like where they come from or anything, but they can surf too, and like even do other things too. Like, yeah, do you want to add?
Representation is like literally everything. I feel like when you see somebody else do it and you see somebody who looks like you do it, it's like more comforting to do it. Actually, there's this girl on TikTok. She's someone too. She's a rock climber. And like, I never thought I would want to rock climb until I saw her rock climbing. And I thought that was like so cool, because I've never heard of a Samoan girl like rock climbing.
Yeah.
And I think like just seeing more Samoans do different things kind of gives us more inspiration. Like, hey, I can do that too. And I think that's just like super cool. So I hope more of us keep doing like different things and giving us like more pathways for like generations to come, so they have more opportunity as well.
Yeah, I feel like most people in like the community, they rep it so hard, and like they've paved such a good way already for the upcoming generations. So I think that's good. And like there's also another Polynesian girl that I just saw on Netflix. She did like one of my favorite TV series. I didn't even know she was Polynesian. And when I found out, I was like, what? That's so cool. And I'm like, Sive, you need to start acting too.
I know. I started watching the TV show right after.
Yeah.
It was so cool, because you never like really see that.
Yeah.
Especially for like Polynesian female to be jumping to like something like acting. Yeah. And she was in a Netflix TV show. Like, that's incredible. And that's like so cool.
Thank you for sharing. And do you guys have any shout outs? Your family, friends, supporters? Shout them out.
Shout out to my mom and dad. I know they're going to watch this.
Yeah, 100% going to watch this.
All of our family. Biggest shout outs to my grandma and grandpa.
I was going to say that.
They're not here right now. They're in heaven, but
they're watching this show.
They're here in spirit. Yeah. Biggest shout out to them, because they've paved like this wave, made everything possible. Yeah. Shout out to our little brother,
Jonah. He's the best.
Yeah. Oh, and our two sisters too.
Shout out to all of them.
Oh, and shout out to our sponsor too, Wind and Waves. Like, we wouldn't be able to do any of our surfing without them. So thanks to them. They're like the best sponsor ever, and like the best people. Oh. So thanks to them too.
Oh, and thanks for you guys.
Oh, yeah. And thanks for having us. Yeah. And thanks for supporting us and having us.
Yeah. No, we really appreciate you two joining us today. Thank you. So thank you for tuning into this episode of Behind the Lava Lava. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. Remember, Lucy and Sive Jarrard are always looking for support, so be sure to check out their websites and social media pages to learn more and see how you can get involved. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow Behind the Lava Lava and leave us a review. And thank you for joining us. We hope that you found this interview informative and insightful. Until next time, Tofa Soifua.